By the end of this video, you are going to feel so on top of your game for not only next month, but the rest of this year. We're gonna be doing a whole mid-year reset. And I know you're probably like, aren't you like a month early? Yes, we are, but there's beauty in being early and ahead of the game. So I have a whole Notion template here that you'll have access to. It'll be linked in the description box below. There's essentially two parts. We're going to be reflecting on the first half of the year, so January through May, and then a second half where we're gonna be planning for June through December. I'm gonna record my screen so you're gonna see my entire reflection and plan and reset. This way you can get a feel for the template and really understand the ins and outs. I know there are so many other reset videos you could be watching out there, but I am somebody that needs every single detail down to the T to kind of be laid out in front of me. And something that I lacked on last year and previous years was reflecting mid-year. I think it's so important to not just reflect, but look back on the goals that you set in the beginning of the year, see where you're at, see what you want to adjust. A lot of us by this time have kind of fallen off and completely forgotten our goals. So going back and looking and seeing what we've accomplished or maybe haven't accomplished is so important. But then also pivoting if you need to for the rest of the year. This way you really stay on top of your game. So come the end of the year, come Q4, you're kind of prepared. I actually did a monthly reset back, I think in October. So I'll have that linked up here as well as in the description box, where I have a Notion template that is on a month-to-month basis. So I, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and somebody that's just constantly juggling so many things, I do a monthly reset every single month. At the end of every month, I plan for the next and I reflect on the previous one. And that's what we had done in that video. So that Notion template is linked below. And so many of you guys really did like that. A lot of you reached out to me. The one we're going over today, again, is a mid-year reset. So it's a lot more detailed, a lot more in depth, more reflecting and all of the good stuff for the entire year. Whereas that template was just for a month-to-month basis that you can also download. So get comfy, get yourself a drink. I've got my iced coffee here as well as my big water. So we're gonna have some fun. Let's get to planning and reflecting. All right, y'all, here's our Notion template. And before I jump into both of the sections and briefly review before we jump in and actually start resetting, let's go ahead and just take a moment to look at the beauty of her. Got some cutie little inspirational photos. And I just wanted to make this a cute vibe for you. Again, you will have access to this. The link will be in the description. Pretty sure all you have to do is duplicate it so that way you have a blank slate within your own Notion, and then you can fill this out how you want whenever you please. So the layout is two separate parts. We've got reflecting for the beginning of the year and then planning for the rest of the year. Under reflecting, we've got word and theme, review of January goals, reflecting on the first half of the year, so wins, challenges, lessons I've learned, how I've grown, and then we're gonna rate the year so far. Then, second part, for planning for the rest of the year, we've got a reset and realign, how we want to feel, shifts and changes, things I'm letting go of, what I'm committing to. Then we've got goals and our vision for the rest of the year, so think personal, work and finance, health and fitness. And then we're gonna create a vision board together, which is my favorite part. It really brings everything all together. I have a vision board on my lock screen, on my iPad screen, on my laptop screen here. Anywhere you can think of, I have a vision board for, and I have not updated it since January. So I usually do it every month, but I was like, this year, let's do like two. The beginning of the year and mid-year, maybe a third in Q4, but we will see how things go. But that's essentially the layout. I don't know about you guys, but I love change. I love fresh starts. I love planning and organizing. So to me, these videos are my favorite to watch and to make. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, turn the notification bells on, and support your girl. So jumping right in, we have got word and theme for the second half of 2025. So one word or phrase to guide the next 6 months. So I love to do this in the beginning of January when I'm setting my goals for the year. And the word that I picked in January was rebuild. I am somebody that is going through a lot of changes. If you haven't seen my last vlog, definitely go check it out. You'll get a little bit more insight into why these resets are very important for me and what I mean by I'm going through a lot of changes. So rebuild was my baseline for this year. I wanted to rebuild everything about me, and you'll see a lot more about that when we kind of go over my January goals and see what that looked like for me at that time. So rebuild was then, and I do feel like I've kind of hit that a little on the head already, which is good. But so because I feel like I've done a good job at rebuilding a lot of things, I think I'm gonna go with the word refine, because now that I've kind of rebuilt a lot of the aspects that I was trying to, I'm not done rebuilding yet, but the things that I have, I know I want to refine them and get comfortable with them and just polish a lot of things up. Oh yeah, okay, good. I like refine. So review of a January goals is next. So before we go ahead and jump into this first question, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my 2025 goals, which are also here in Notion. And I don't know if I'm gonna show every single thing with you guys. I might blur some things out. I don't know. I just definitely wanna have some privacy, but I want to be pretty candid about things so we can see where we're at. So these are my goals that I created literally the beginning of January for this entire year. And again, word of the year is rebuild. I'm going to rebuild myself from the ground up to who I want to be. I feel like I've let myself get to a place in most areas that I'm not proud of. Now that we've moved into my luxury apartment in my dream location, it's a new fresh start. And that's essentially the vibe of what I wanted this year to be. A new fresh start, rebuilding my health and wellness, body, self-love, confidence, socialization skills, a better partner, being a better partner, my finances, and my discipline. And again, just about all of these things, I would say, except my socialization skills, because I really haven't utilized those, I've rebuilt. So, okay, so for career and business goals, I'm not going to share everything, of course, just because I think as an entrepreneur and a business owner, it's my baby. So I like to keep a lot of that close to me. But the first thing is continue to improve in TikTok Creative and TikTok One. If you don't know, that's a platform for creators where you create ads for brands. I do UGC, that's my full-time thing. So I wanted to create a quick system and possibly hire an assistant at consistent 10K months. I've created my quick system. I have not hired an assistant yet, and I don't think I'm going to be doing that this year. I'm not really in a place where I feel I want it right now. The system is kind of going up and down. So that is something that I'm definitely going to be adjusting. Find a good balance with personal content and personal brand. So YouTube, I wanted to do 1 video a week, vlogs and resets. Hello. TikTok and IG Reels, 3 to 5 short form videos per week. And I put some topics in there. So as far as YouTube goes, last week was my first time getting back into the swing of things, and we are going strong. Like, I am so sick and tired of starting and stopping because of outside social and outside work obligations. And YouTube, if you don't know, is my end goal. So we are being consistent. We're staying this year. It's not wavering. So 1 video per week. This is my 2nd week now where I'm going to be uploading. So we're doing pretty good there. It hasn't been all year though. So that has been but we are there now. We're doing vlogs and resets. Yep. TikTok and IG Reels. I can't really post that much on top of YouTube and everything else that I'm doing. So that's no. And then the topics are good. Cool. So let's go ahead and move over to personal growth. Skills to learn, habits to build. Let's see. Overall discipline and routines. Have 2 different morning routines for lower energy days. Guys, I just talked about this in my last vlog. If you have not seen that, go watch it because I talk about this too. And I literally just filmed this last week and it's now May. So this is something that you're seeing in real time if you watch that vlog that I've been keeping up with. So that's a yes. Good work-life balance, stopping work at a certain time, work blocks for each sector of business, being disciplined with work and play, but keeping play. Go out more, no more isolation. Okay, good work-life balance. Yes and no. As somebody who's juggling a lot of things and as a solopreneur, if you will, I wear all of the hats. So some weeks I stop work at a certain time and some weeks I work through to 1 a.m. So that is a work in progress. Work blocks for each sector of business. Yes, we are working on that. I absolutely love doing that. And being disciplined with work and play, but keeping play. I would say I've done pretty good with that, not gonna lie. Hobbies and interests, new hobbies or creative pursuits. Let's see, being active. I have been being active, I would say 85% of my time, so I consider that a win. I have not gone to free yoga or done any workout classes, but I have been walking and going to the gym as of last week. We got back into the swing of things. So, yes. Read Throne of Glass series. Y'all, if you know anything about Throne of Glass, I am Monk Queen of Shadows, which I think is the 5th book. I refuse to get off on a tangent here, but I so could. If you like fantasy, if you like world building, all of that, go read Throne of Glass, the whole series. Be prepared. It's an emotional roller coaster, so worth it, and it's a lot of books, but yes. So yes, I've been reading that. I have not been coloring as much. I've colored a few times this year, but nothing crazy, and I have not gotten into scrapbooking yet. So we are working on all of those things, but 2 out of those 4 we've done, so that's good. Self-care and wellness. Prioritize doctor's appointments. We did that in February. I am very happy and proud. I have not gone and gotten all of these done, but the major things that I was focused on and wanted answers on, we got. So, big win. Gym 5 to 6 times per week. This I'm going to be changing based off of what I found out at the doctors. I was just diagnosed with PCOS. Again, I talk about this a lot in my previous vlogs, so you could check that out. But based on that diagnosis, my health and fitness has kind of changed up a little bit, so I think some of these things might be changing. The 3-2-1 method, 3 strength and weight training days, 2 upper body Pilates days, 1 hour cardio each day. That was a great split and great idea for me, but that's just not going to work for me anymore. Max, now I'm going to the gym 3, maybe 4 times a week, and the days in between I'm getting in some long walks. That's what my body needs and thrives on. So next, boxing, once knee is taken care of. I hurt my knee literally almost exactly a year ago. I don't know, I think I'm babying it, and I do want to get into boxing, but I haven't done it yet because I'm being too much of a punk. So maybe I'll make that another goal by the end of this year. Maybe. Protein focused meals with less simple white carbs and more complex carbs. Yes, 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 I've done this again. I swear to God, I'm not trying to force you to watch my previous vlog, but a lot of these things are things that I talked about there and you've actually seen them. So, and by the way, that vlog was a lot of like an introduction to who I am. So if you're kind of just stumbling across this, you'll get a good feel for who I am, what I'm about, what my channel is, and the real side of me and my life. So we don't do highlight reels over here, just so you know. We're about real life and showing real life things. That's why I'm showing a lot of this with you guys. So yes, protein focused meals, we're done that. Daily mindfulness routine, breathwork, meditate, journal, no. So I have some days and like portions of the week where I'm really good at that, and then I'll go weeks without doing any of it. So I need to figure out something that works for me here. And then, okay, this I'm not going to share with you guys, but I love this idea and I want to share it with you. So maybe you want to do this now. Always, I would recommend definitely doing it in the beginning of the year when you're planning out your year. But if you did not do it in January, do this now. Basically, it's a prompt that asks you, who are you now in December 2025? So a year from now, at the end of this year, who are you? Like write from first person. Say, like for me, mine starts out with, I'm a disciplined woman that takes care of her health and prioritizes her health and wellness before anything else. I mean, this is like 3 paragraphs long, so get into detail about who you are. This way you can visualize that higher version of yourself. You can visualize who you want to be, and it sets a really, really clear picture for that. So you can really aim towards that. Okay, I know this took a while, but let's go ahead and get back to that mid-year reset and answer some of the questions. What goals have I achieved or made progress on? So, found a good work balance with TikTok 1, now posting consistently on YouTube. I can never spell that word. Get out more, no more isolation. I don't know if I commented on that one. I would say yes. Yeah, so that's basically that. But do you see why this is so good? Because you can literally see, look at how many things I accomplished. That's a lot. If you had asked me if I thought I knew where I was, I would have said maybe a couple of these. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like there's 10 here. Which ones no longer align? I know hiring an assistant, posting 3 to 5 on TikTok. That doesn't align anymore. It's gonna be a little bit less than that. And then, what am I postponing or revising for the second half? Gym 3 times per week, 1 to 2 times per week. I think that's pretty much it for that. So, review of January goals, done. Reflecting on the first half of the year, wins I'm proud of. Let's see, some personal wins. I'm gonna skip that one because everything that keeps coming to my mind is in a different sector. So we'll come back to personal, but business/career. I'm really proud of how locked in YouTube I've been. That's been a huge goal of mine, and just finding the time for it felt really daunting, and I finally did it, and now I'm in a really good rhythm. So, found a good rhythm. Hello? Am I okay with UGC? Health and wellness, your girl has lost 12 pounds. Now, to put this into perspective, I gained like 30 pounds overnight a few years back, and I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to do everything right, and then I got my PCOS diagnosis in February, so I've had March, April, and May to kind of switch things up, and in 3 months I've lost 12 pounds, which for the last 3 to 4 years, I have not been able to drop more than 2 to 3 pounds, and then it goes right back up. It's been years, y'all. I couldn't even get to 5 pounds, and I dropped to 12. So if you're interested in like a PCOS journey or weight loss journey type video on tips and tricks and things, and maybe I could just include it in a different video too, definitely leave a comment down below. I don't want to make this channel all about PCOS if I don't have that many women interested, but I know there's so many women that go through this. So that has been absolutely incredible for me. Found a good lifestyle change, I'd say, with nutrition, movement, and supplements. I would say obviously nutrition is number one in regards to helping me lose the weight, and then I would say supplements is probably number two. Like, don't get me wrong, the movement and the long walks help as well, but the supplements I think really played a huge part. Relationships, I don't really think there's much there. I live with my boyfriend, and me and him have been together for 14 years, and of course you can always be a better partner, but I don't think anything's sticking out to me as far as like being a better girlfriend to him. I mean, I'm always great, but as far as other relationships go, we've been very like head down in our own little world. So not much going on there. Creativity / passion projects, about 1 book a month. Okay, personal, I don't really think. See, this is another thing that you'll start to learn about yourself. Sometimes you're not good at celebrating your wins. Sometimes you're not even good at remembering your wins. Like, I can't even remember something personal. But I feel like, you know what? We just moved into this luxury apartment, literally December 30th. So I would say I'm proud of kind of furnishing my new apartment and making it feel homey. I mean, that's a great accomplishment. Like, this place I'm absolutely obsessed with, and moving here to this dream apartment of mine in my dream location has changed everything for me. So I think that's a good one. Now, moving on to challenges I've faced. What threw me off? I would say obviously my PCOS diagnosis. Moving into a new apartment, you know, that takes a lot of time and effort and unpacking, and literally it was December 31st. So we came in to the new year in this apartment. So there were a lot of things that I had to take care of in January, so it pushed me back a little bit as far as work and personal stuff goes. But anyway, what habits or patterns weren't serving me? In January, because we had just moved in and I knew I was going to be going to the doctor in February, I was kind of trying to be superwoman and trying to do it all. Like, I was really burning myself out and just in general working too much, doing too much. And that was something that I really had to tone back and take a step back and look at with the diagnosis and realize that, like, hey, that doesn't do you any good at all. That actually makes things worse. Now, lessons I learned. Mindset shifts. Well, we were kind of just talking about that. Less is more. I was talking about this not that long ago, that in just about every area of my life, I've realized that this is true. Nothing is on your time. Everything you want will be yours, but it's not on your timeline. You have to let go of the how and the why. Being alone is okay. Habits or beliefs that changed. Eating breakfast and lunch every day. I'm very lucky my boyfriend cooks dinner every night. So weightlifting less, staying busy when I have the energy. I'm somebody that kind of fears being busy because I get stressed very easily, and I have ADHD, so my brain's on go constantly. So I actually like always think I need to be calm and relaxed and not doing anything. And I find when I'm doing that, I get stuck in this position of guilt where I feel bad that I'm not doing anything. And I realize as long as you keep yourself busy in a calm way, you don't have that guilt, and you're not thinking about just relaxing. You're thinking about getting stuff done, and you feel better for it. And of course, there's a balance, right, that everybody has to find. But I found that if I stay busy when I have the energy to be busy, it just helps me in so many ways. How I've grown. I'd say I've gotten better with controlling my emotions and not letting them take over. I'm a very emotional girly, and I find that sometimes they control just about everything, and I've really reflected on that and realized that that's not a great quality to have. So I've been working on that. Professionally, works for me and what I truly want to do. Physically, I'd say losing weight. That's growing. When that's your goal, that's growth. More confident in my body. Spiritually, we talked about this before, but I've really learned to let go of the how and when and just focus on taking aligned action. motivation. Overall, January to May rating. I would say, honestly, despite the craziness and the mentality of this little diagnosis and changing my lifestyle, I think that has changed me for the better. And I think that I actually have accomplished a lot more goals than I thought I would. So I'm gonna give this a good, honestly, y'all, 9. I was gonna do 9.5, but I think I'm pushing it. So let's do 9 out of 10. Accomplished way more goals than I expected. The cards being against me. That is part 1 done. I feel like that took a little bit, but it's important. I think that is almost more important than the second part. The second part is the fun part, but the first part I feel like is the most important because you need to see where you're at to plan for the future, and you can really give yourself some kudos, if you will, for accomplishing a lot of goals. All right, jumping into part 2, reset and realign. First things first, how do I want to feel for the rest of 2025? Choose 3 core feelings. Okay, I want to feel confident. I want to feel aligned. I want to feel proud. I think those are some 3 good ones. What needs to shift or change? My routines. Okay, let's start with like a morning routine. I want to focus on getting the bulk of important work done in the morning and then workout / walk midday. Eating earlier is something for me. I have my Ultra Human ring and it tracks your sleep, of course, and it tells me that my heart rate drops really late. So sometimes it drops like an hour before I wake up, and it's supposed to drop earlier in the night, and something that makes that happen apparently is eating too late. Boundaries. I don't really think I have anything there either, so that's good. And guys, if there are things that you can skip here, especially for the planning part, that's a good thing. That means you're in a good spot. Priorities. YouTube. It's my end goal. I have so much freaking fun with it, and we want to get monetized this year, if not by mid-year next year. So definitely a priority. Movement. Income. Energy leaks, things that drain your energy. Processed food. Worrying about others. Now, this doesn't mean be heartless, but if there are things that you're worried about that you can't control for other people, we need to let that go. Feeling guilty. As somebody with ADHD and executive dysfunction, there are days where I literally don't get out of bed, and that sucks, especially as an entrepreneur and I have so many things on my plate. It doesn't feel good, but I need to work on understanding that those days are necessary for my brain and for my body. So let's let go of that. What am I letting go? What? What am I letting go of? Old goals. I'm no longer focused on making the number on the scale smaller, but rather how I feel in my body. Perfectionism. This really comes to mind with YouTube. I am a huge creative with a huge aesthetic eye, so that means I want everything to look good and be in the right timing and be in the right place, but I'm understanding that YouTube takes a lot of time, which I know. I've been creating YouTube videos for a very long time. I started like 8 years ago on a completely different channel with my boyfriend and everything. So I understand the back end of editing, and I edit every day, all day for brands, but YouTube and yourself is different. And I have a specific vision for my videos and for my channel, but I'm realizing that spending 15 hours a week editing one video, the payoff is not the best right now. So I need to let go of that perfectionism and just kind of get it rolling in a way that I feel good about and that is a good experience for those watching. Fear. Sometimes I can be scared of growth. I think we all can. So we're letting go of being scared of growth and we're embracing it. Distractions. Ooh, I would say certain TV shows. I am somebody that if I see something's trending online, like a reality show specifically, and really only reality TV, I need to go and watch it. And that's not to say that I'm never going to watch reality TV. I watch TV every single week, but I find that sometimes I get locked into a show for a week, I binge it, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that was 8 hours this week that I could have uploaded a YouTube video. I'm not saying that there's no work and play and fun, but sometimes I need to put that off until the video's done, The fear of being seen. Yep. Something that I struggled with a lot with this YouTube channel was figuring out what I wanted it to be. And for a long time, until I got this diagnosis, I was hiding a huge part of me because I didn't have the confirmation. I knew that something was wrong. I knew that something was up, and that's why I live the life the way that I do and I have the struggles that I do. But I hid those things because I was almost gaslighting myself into thinking, maybe these aren't issues you actually have, and maybe you're just lazy. Maybe you just don't have the drive that other people do. Maybe you're just not disciplined. And then when I got this diagnosis, which tells me that everything that I struggle with comes from that in combination with my other diagnosis, it all was like confirmation. And I was like, you know what? I'm ready to be seen. I'm ready to be vulnerable, because if there's one thing I can share with the world, it is that not everything is perfect. And I'm honestly somebody that's been on social media for a while, and I create a lot, and I'm kind of sort of sick of this highlight reel. And I was like, if I could be a safe space where I'm not a highlight reel for some people, and that they can accept and see that they're not alone in the struggles that they go through on a daily basis, I would love to do that. So especially with my last vlog, I've kind of come out of my shell a little bit, and that's the direction that I want this channel to go. And it feels so right, and it feels like this is why it took me a while to get into YouTube, because I had something more, to provide and to give. So yeah, what am I committing to? 1 to 3 major focuses for July through December. Guys, I'm sorry. I feel like it's all YouTube, but that proper movement, being busy. Goals and vision for July through December. Okay, this is where you're just gonna write out your goals for the rest of the year. This is gonna be your main focus, right? So personally, I really want to lock in a mindfulness routine. I'm not going to get into details about specifically what this routine is going to be, because I feel like I'm yapping your guys' ear off, but whether it's breath work, journaling, meditation, I want to read 7 more books. Work and finance. Definitely increase income, pay off my credit cards, join the YouTube partner program. Oh, I want to go back to personal and do at least 1 vacation. Health and fitness. Let's see if I can drop another 10 to 20 pounds. That would be amazing. Better my PCOS. I don't know how I wanted to word that, but I just want to continue to cater to it. So that's pretty much everything for the Notion template and writing and reflecting and planning. We still have to create our vision board, which we're going to do together. If you don't know how to do this, or if you're looking for a new way to do it, what I do is I go into Pinterest, which I'm going to show you all of this, by the way. You're going to see my entire screen. I go into Pinterest, and based on the planning that I did, I will literally pull this up and look at the plans and what I want to focus on, and then type those things into Pinterest, find a bunch of photos that reflect that, save them, go into Canva, and then add the photos that way, and then create the lock screen in Canva. But have some fun with it, light a candle, get a drink, put some music on, and make it a vibe. Yeah, let's jump into making our vision board. This is your reminder that if upon doing your reflecting of your goals from January, from the beginning of the year, if you did not accomplish a lot of goals, any goals, or as many as you thought you were going to, that is a-okay. Just because I did better than I assumed I would, guys, please make sure you understand this year was something that I set out to genuinely do and to really rebuild myself. So I was really focused, but had you asked me to do this any other year, I would not be nearly as far along with my goals. So just please keep that in mind and just focus on resetting for the rest of the year and making the best of it. All right, y'all, thanks so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful and fun and motivating for you to approach the second half of the year. Again, I know we're technically a month ahead, but there's no harm in being ahead. And honestly, with the year that we've all had so far, the craziness of the world, I feel like something like this is kind of necessary, and it's a good thing that we're doing it early. But anyway, I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoy this kind of video, if you like resets, if there's anything that you would add to that Notion template, because I think I might start doing monthly resets. I absolutely love these. And again, I do them personally for my business and everything every single month. So I think they're super important and helpful. But yeah, again, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, support your girl, and I'll see you in the next video.